Namaste Gurukulians. How are you? I hope you all are fit and fine. Are you all studying? Yes, I think you all are studying by the video lectures. So now in this video lecture, what we are going to discuss, about the chapter 2nd of 9th class, that is matter around us pure. This is the third lecture of this very chapter. Okay. So firstly, I will just give you a brief revision, a very quick revision of lecture number 2. So what we did in the lecture number 2, we discussed about solution, we discussed about what? Colloids as well as suspension. We did it with the various activities, okay, and I hope you tried those activities at your home also. So in this very lecture, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss a very important term, that is solubility. What is solubility, beta? So in the last lecture, we discussed about a saturated solution. What is a saturated solution? When for example, we took an example, like I am having a glass of water and 10 spoons of salt, they are completely soluble in that glass of water, but 11th spoon is not soluble. That means up to 10 spoon, this solution is what? Saturated. That means no more solute is going to add in that particular water. Getting my point? So solubility term is related to that saturated solution. Solubility is maximum amount, what beta? Maximum amount of solute present in what? Present in saturated or unsaturated? Saturated. So present in saturated what? Solution. So solubility stands for maximum amount of solute that is present in that particular saturated solution. That means 10 spoon of solute that are present in the water, they are what? Solubility of that water. So formula is mass of solute we added divided by, important thing here is mass of solvent into 100. In concentration term, what we did? We used mass by mass. Formula of mass by mass concentration is mass of solute divided by mass of solution. But solubility means mass of solute divided by mass of solvent into 100. So that is the new term, okay, solubility. So in the NCERT on page number 80, there is a table related to different types of colloids, okay. You have to draw this table in your fair notebook. Getting my point, okay. So this is just dispersed phase and dispersed medium. That means based on solute and solvent, we classified colloids into various types, okay beta. Now in today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the separation techniques. That means how we are going to separate the two things that are available to us, okay. Firstly, just think about, in nature, everything that is present in nature, is it in its pure form? No, they are not present in their pure form. They are present in mixed composition, or you can say that they are present in a mixture form, okay. Not only a single component is available to you, there is a mixture of various components, and depending upon the characteristics of that particular components, we used various methods. Now in today's lecture, we are going to discuss about 5 particular methods that we use to separate the things, okay. You can't use only one method to separate the thing. Getting my point? You need different methods to what? To separate different kinds of material. Getting my point? Firstly, we discuss about homo and hetero. So if I am having a heterogeneous mixture, that means I can easily see the two components that are present in that mixture. So how you are going to separate it? if you can see the two different things are present, okay, with your naked eyes, then you can just separate it with the physical methods. Okay, that means the separation of what beta? The separation of heterogeneous mixture are very easy, and they can be separated with the help of what? Physical methods like hand picking. That means you use your hands to pick the material. Okay, hand picking, filtration, winnowing, magnetic separation, and all those things. Okay, where you need not to use a very complex setup to separate the things. But in the case of HOMO, when you can't see the two different components with your naked eyes, then you can't use the simple method, filtration. Filtration, which is like sand in water. You can separate the sand from the water with the help of filter paper, and you will easily see the two components, sand and water. We did this activity in the lecture number 2. But if I mixed cold drink and water, are you able to see after the mixing that this amount of water is present and this amount of cold drink is present? No. So can you imagine that just by simple filtration, are you able to separate cold drink and water? No, we can't separate. That means we require different methods based on what beta? Based on the properties of components present in it. So the first method of separation which I am going to discuss with you is simple, evaporation. What? Evaporation. In the very first lecture, what is the process of evaporation? When a liquid is converted into what phase? Gaseous phase. This is known as what? Evaporation. So, firstly we will discuss that in which type of components you will use this method. Firstly, we use this method to what beta? To separate, very good, volatile. To separate volatile component, from non-volatile component. That means you can use this method when you having two components. One is volatile in nature and the another one is non-volatile in nature. So now this term is new to you. That means what is volatility? Bachche, volatile means a liquid which is capable of converting into gaseous form is volatile. That means any substance which on heating convert into vapors form is known as what? Volatile. So if I am having two components, one is volatile, another one is non-volatile, that means the another component is not going to evaporate on heating, then only I will use this method, evaporation. Now the question should come in your mind that ma'am, if both are non-volatile, can we use evaporation? No, you can't use evaporation. And if both these components are volatile, can you use? No, you can't use. So the condition, you can say that the condition to use evaporation is one component should be volatile and the another one is non-volatile in nature. Getting my point? Now example, simple example, that is separation of, but see when I write NaCl, because this is chemistry, so just try to use these formulas in your common language, like common salt. Irrespective of using salt, just use NaCl, that is sodium chloride. Okay, common salt, that means NaCl separation from seawater. As you all know that in seawater excess of salt is present, that's why the seawater is salty in taste. Okay, so just by simple evaporation, that means with the help of what? Heat is going to come from where? Which is source, the main source of heat is sun. So with the help of sun, the water on the surface, okay, they are going to, the water is going to what beta? The water is going to evaporate and we are left with what? We are left with NaCl. We are left with what beta? NaCl. Okay, supposedly this, in this container I am having seawater. Okay, with the help of sun, slow evaporation, heat is coming, it's going to evaporate. Okay, and converting into gaseous phase. Volatile component is here water, that is H2O. Non-volatile component here is salt, because salt can't convert from directly liquid to gaseous phase. It is solid in nature. Getting my point, beta? So is this mixture going to satisfy the condition to use evaporation? Yes, because one is volatile and the another one is non-volatile in nature. So water convert into vapor forms and it will evaporate, and what we are left with? We are left with the salt particles, and that's how we can separate the salt. Okay, so this is a method for the evaporation. Second, I will show you, there is an activity in the NCERT. Okay, right now bache I am not having the gas connection. Okay, so I can't make sure that you will see those changes, but when you will come here, we will do this activity in the chemistry lab. Okay, so I am just showing you the setup, how we are going to make the setup. Okay, so this is a burner. What it is? Bache, this apparatus, firstly you should know the name of the apparatus. This is a tripod stand. This is what? A tripod stand, because it is having 3 legs. A tripod stand I am having. Okay, side by side, when you are watching the video, just see in your NCERT book, there is a very beautiful diagram. Okay, this is a burner. We place the burner. This is a wire goes. Okay, it is required so that the heating is not going to damage your apparatus. Okay, so we place it on the burner. Okay, just imagine that this burner is having the fire in it. Okay, so in the case of evaporation, supposedly this is salt water. I am going to place it over here. From the beneath, okay, that means this burner is going to provide the heat energy, the water is going to evaporate, or you can say that the water is going to boil down. This is a watch glass. In the activity, what you are going to do? You are going to decolorize the dye. Okay, decolorize the dye. Dye means bache, dye is having any specific color. So I am going to, supposedly this is a dye in a powdered form, you can imagine. Okay, so I am going to place the dye powdered form above this beaker having water. So the decoloration of dye, what we are going to do with the help of heating? Firstly, the water is going to heat up. It reaches up to its boiling point and start converting into what, beta? Start converting into vapors. And these vapors, the steam, as we have already discussed about this, that the steam of the particles, they are having high energy, and this steam is now going to hit directly to the dye. Okay, and with respect to time, the moisture content in the dye, it evaporates. Getting my point? And after evaporation, the color of the dye, it's decolorized. That means you will see that the blue dye, for example, it's going to convert into what? Colorless. So this is about evaporation technique. The second technique is about centrifugation. What the second technique is, beta? Centrifugation. And in the process of centrifugation, a very general and a common example of your homes, that is kitchen, when you are going to separate butter from the milk, from the curd. Okay, so what you are going to do? In the mixture, you will put the butter and you will put the milk and centrifuge it. Okay, and after centrifugation, you will see that all the butter in that milk, it's come on the upper layer of that system. Okay, so the second we are going to discuss is about centrifugation technique. Centrifugation, okay, it can be done manually or you will use a machine. The machine is known as centrifugal machine. The machine is known as, beta, what kind of machine we are going to use? A centrifugal machine. It may be automatic. Okay, that means this machine may operate manually or with the help of electricity you can operate it. So this is centrifugation machine. What is going to be done with this centrifugation machine? Okay, supposedly in the laboratories, okay, when you are going to give your blood samples, they collect the blood sample into a small tube, and after this, what they are going to do? They are going to pour this blood into this test tube, and in the centrifugation machine, okay, just imagine in the centrifugation machine there is a holder like this. So they are going to place the test tube in this position. It is not straight, it is in this position, and when they are going to switch on the machine, what the machine is going to do? The machine is going to rotate it very fast. What the machine is going to do? Machine is going to rotate it very fast. It's going to spin with a very high speed. And the main basic funda and the main basic principle of this centrifugation is, when anything is going to rotate with that very high speed, the science concept states that heavy particles, they settle down. Heavy particles settle down, while the lighter particles, they float. What? They float on the upper surface. That means when this thing is going to spin with a very high speed, the denser and the heavier particles, just because of the gravity, they are going to settle down, and the lighter particle is going to float on the upper surface. That means that's the one thing that the diagnostic laboratories uses. They are going to separate the plasma as well as the serum from your blood. Okay, so this is about the centrifugation technique. You can use it. The main basic funda is heavier particles settle down fast as compared to the lighter particles. On this basis, we are going to use this method, centrifugation. The separation of butter from milk is another example. Okay, your blood and urine test is the another example. Okay, beta. And another, you can also relate the centrifugation machine with your washing machine. The spinning area, the drying part of that machine, okay, it's going to spin at a very high speed, and just because of the spinning of that particular part, the water droplets from the cloth, they expelled out, and the clothes, they become dry, because on spinning the water particles, they are heavy, so they just expelled out. Getting my point? So this is about the technique second, that is centrifugation. So the third term is related to the separating funnel. But just what you have to do in these techniques, just remember the basic funda and the basic principle used for that particular technique. There is no need to cram anything in chemistry. What you just have to do, you just have to focus on the concept. So in evaporation, the concept is one should be volatile and the another should be non-volatile. In centrifugation, the concept is heavy particles settle down fast while the lighter particles, they float on the surface. That's the two statements related to these two fundas, two processes. So the third one is separating, what beta? Separating funnel. Separating funnel is an apparatus firstly, and when we are going to use the separating funnel, that means the condition. What? Condition. So the condition to use the separating funnel is, bachche, we are going to separate the two immiscible. We are going to separate what beta? The two immiscible liquids. Here a new term came. What is it? Immiscible. Immiscible means, bachche, don't mix. That means those solvents which don't mix with each other. Common example. Give me the common example of those two solvents which are not able to mix with each other. Water in oil, or you can say that oil in water. Okay. So condition is those two liquids must be what? They must be immiscible. That means on mixing the two components, it doesn't like the cold drink and water. If they are going to mix with each other, they are miscible. So after some, when you are going to pour water in the cold drink, they are going to mix with each other homogeneously. Okay. So with the help of separating funnel, you can't separate the two. But two immiscible liquids, that means those liquids which are not going to mix with each other, you are going to separate these two things with the help of separating funnel. And the basic funda, that where are you going to apply the separating funnel technique? When liquids are having different what beta density. That means both the immiscible liquids, they have to be different in their density. Density is what beta? Already discussed, mass per unit volume. In chapter number 1 we already covered that part about the density. Okay, so that means condition is two solvents, they have to be what, or two liquids, they have to be immiscible in nature, and the basic funda is this separation technique is going to work on which property? On the density property. So the thing which is denser, that means if I am going to place iron nail in water, iron nail is going to float or it's going to sink? Obviously it's going to sink. If anything you are putting it into the water and it's going to sink, that means the density of that particular substance is greater than that of water, that's why it's sink. And if the density of that substance is lighter, that means if the density of the substance is less than that of the water, then it's going to float on the surface of water. It's a very basic concept and you know it very well. Okay, that means denser things going to what? Sink, and the lighter, or you can say that less denser thing is going to float on the surface of water. So here what we are going to do on the basis of density. So firstly, apparatus. Have you seen the separating funnel? If not, then in today's lecture we will see. But this is a separating funnel. Okay, this is what? A separating funnel. In this separating funnel, what we are having? We are having this knob. Okay, if I am going to open the knob, this liquid, this is just water. Okay, if I am going to open this knob, this water is coming down and I am going to collect it in the beaker. So this is a what? Separating funnel. This is its what beta? You can say that cork, or you can say that a glass stopper. Okay, just to make sure that nothing is going to enter in that funnel without. This is a tripod stand, just to make sure that I am able to hold it. Okay. So what I am going to do in this separating funnel, the two things that we discussed about is, number first, water. This is the water. So I am going to pour some water. I think it is visible to you all. Just I am going to rub the board so that you can easily see what's gonna happen in this technique. Okay. So this is what? Separating funnel. I am having water. Okay. And on the other side, two immiscible liquid. So two immiscible, general common example, oil and water. I am having this mustard oil. Okay, easily available to your home. So I am going to pour some oil in this separating funnel. Okay. So this separating funnel is now having water as well as oil, because the condition, and I am going to shake it very well. What I am going to do? I am going to shake it very well just to see whether these two layers are, it seems like they are mixed, but you can see that oil and water, they are not going to mix with each other. After some time, what you will see? You will see a layer of oil on the upper surface and the pure crystal clear water in the downside. Okay, you can see the effect. This, just see it here, it's going to convert into a pure form of water, and all the oil particles, they are going to collect on the upper surface, because oil particles, they are less denser than that of water, so they float on the surface of water, and the density of water is what beta? Higher, so it will cover in the lower part of this separating funnel. So as you can see the effect, this layer of oil is going to become thicker, and here you will see the water. Okay, I am going to place this separating funnel undisturbed for 2 or 5 minutes. Okay, then you will see a crystal. I am not going to disturb this funnel. Okay, you will see it by yourself. Okay, so this is about the separating funnel. Condition: two immiscible liquids, and the funda, just based on their density, we can separate the two things very easily. After separating funnel, the next one is fourth, sublimation. Fourth is sublimation. So in the sublimation technique, firstly just tell me what is the process of sublimation. When solid form converts directly to gaseous form without converting into its liquid form. That means when solid directly changes to gas, this is known as what? Sublimation. Firstly, the condition to use this process. What I said? Conditions. So the condition for the sublimation is, bachche, one component is sublime in nature. One component is sublime in nature, while the another one is, bachche, one component is sublime in nature and second component is non-sublime. Is what beta? Non-sublime. That means if I am having a mixture of two components, one should be sublime in nature. That means one component should convert directly from solid to gas part, while the other component is non-sublime. That means the other component is not going to convert directly to gas form. Then only you will be able to separate. Suppose na bachche, if both the substances or both the components are sublime, then on heating they both convert into vapor phase. Okay, how you are going to separate the two things? One is sublime, that means on heating one changes to its vapor while the another doesn't change into the vapor form and remains in that beaker, or you can say that in the china dish. Okay, so this is about the condition. Main basic funda is the same. That means sublime and non-sublime. So example for sublime is already discussed. What? Iodine. What? Ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride. Naphthalene. Anthracene. Okay, already discussed, bachche. So just taking an example of ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride is easily available in the chemistry lab. So this is ammonium chloride. Okay, this is packed now because I am not having the gas here. Okay, otherwise I will show you the activity. So this is ammonium chloride. If I am going, this is white in color. If I am going to mix this ammonium chloride in salt, with eyes you can't see that salt and ammonium chloride is mixed together. Then how you are going to separate? We are going to separate it with sublimation process, because we know that ammonium chloride is sublime in nature. On heating, ammonium chloride converts to vapor form and the NaCl it remains in the bottom, and I am going to separate the two things. Okay, so just focus on the setup. Okay, burner, tripod stand, wire gauge. This is china dish. This is what, bachche? China dish. On china dish, this is what? A cone. I am going to place this cone inverted direction, okay, invertedly. So this is the whole setup that is used for sublimation process. So what I am going to do? I am going to pour ammonium chloride as well as salt mixture here. I am going to place it here. Heating is there, that means temperature is going to increase, and the funnel, this lower part of the funnel, we have to cover this lower part, otherwise the sublime material went away in the atmosphere. And how you are going to separate it? Getting my point, beta? So you have to cover this so that no vapor or fumes of sublime component went into the atmosphere. Okay, so this is the whole setup. When heating is going on, ammonium chlorides convert into what? Vapor form. And when these vapors are going to convert in this part, na bachche, the temperature here is comparatively less as compared to this bottom. Okay, so they are going to condense here. They are going to condense here directly, and the NaCl it remains in that china dish, and this the process, the whole process is sublimation, and we are going to separate the sublimation. So the last technique of this very lecture is about chromatography. What is it? Chromatography. So chromatography, the fifth and the last technique of this lecture is chromatography. So as the name suggests, chroma, it means color. That means this technique is firstly used to separate what, beta? To separate the colored components. In the technique of chromatography, the condition is we are going to use a mixture of colors. What we are going to do? We are going to use a mixture of colors. And the basic funda of this technique, the basic concept of this technique is, in this technique we are going to separate what? Two solutes which are miscible, or you can say that soluble बच्चे, and same solvent. In what beta? Same solvent. Hypothetically, just take an example that I am having a blue dye as well as a black dye. Okay, and they both are soluble in what? Water. They both are soluble in what beta? They both are soluble in what? Water. So blue dye and black dye, I am going to mix these two dyes, and I'll just say, bachche, just separate the two things. This is a homogeneous mixture, so just by seeing I can't separate the two things. So what I did, I saw that they both are soluble in water and they are going to satisfy the condition of what? Chromatography techniques. So I just used that technique of chromatography. Basic funda. If these, although these two dyes, they are soluble in water, but the solubility, that means the solubility of blue is greater than that of black. It's a hypothetical example, okay. That means in chromatography, the two components that we are going to separate, they are soluble in same solvent, but their solubility in that solvent varies. One component is more soluble, more attracted toward that solvent, and the another one is less attracted toward that solvent. So what I am going to do? Basic funda is bachche solubility difference. Solubility difference between two components that are present. Condition, they must be soluble in same solvent. Funda, the degree of their or the rate of their solubility is different. One is more soluble and the another one is less soluble. So here I am going to show you the setup, okay. So supposedly I just put that mark, okay. I just marked a line and put the dot of both of the mixture of black and blue dye. I just put a dot. Firstly I mix blue and black dye, then from that mixture I just put a drop of that mixture over here. That means this dot contain both the components, blue and black. What I am going to do, this is a filter paper strip. What I am going to do, they are bachche what? Soluble in water. So what I am going to do, I am just going to place this filter paper in this water, and with respect to time, the water is going to, this filter paper is going to absorb the water and the water level is going to increase in the filter paper. This is known as capillary action. We will discuss it in higher classes, okay, what is a capillary action. So with respect to time, the level of water is going to increase, and after some time what you will see? You will see two different dots on that paper, okay, because this dot which is raised in the level, that means it moves faster because time period is same. For 1 minute I just place the filter paper, the time period for both the thing is same, but the distance covered from this line by both these component is different. More the distance covered, more is the attraction with the solvent. That means when which is going to have the more? Blue one. That means bachche, this dot is going to represent the blue dye and the least one, lesser one, is going to represent the dot for the black dye. More the solute attracted towards solvent, more is the speed of moving and larger is the distance covered. So this is about the chromatography techniques. The one having more attraction with the solvent is faster, and the another having less attraction with the solvent rises at a lower rate. So with the help of these two difference in the distances, we can easily separate the two things. So these are the 5 techniques we discussed today: evaporation, centrifugation, separating funnel, sedimentation as well as chromatography. Main thing, you must remember the condition where you are going to apply the processes, and the second one, you should remember the basic funda or the basic concept related to each and every techniques. So this is your lecture number 3 of the very chapter. In the next we will discuss about distillation and fractional distillation term. Okay beta? So just go through this chapter thoroughly, read your NCERT books. Okay, if you are having any doubt, you can ask, okay, in the group. So okay beta, all the best. Thank you very much.